Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Josie Waite and I'm here with Craig Ramsay from HSBC. Thank you for joining me, Craig.
Thank you, Josie.
Looking at blockchain applications from a payments perspective, how is blockchain being explored?
We're exploring it in two ways. You have a domestic payment use case, and that's where regulators are looking at creating a digital currency that sits alongside the physical currency and being able to trade that. The use of blockchain technologies is what regulators are looking at for that cryptocurrency, and we're working with those countries. The UK, Canada, Singapore are all doing proof of concepts, and we HSBC are working with each of those. If you also look at another use case, it's about cross-border settlement. And that's really about creating the capability of yourself paying from Canada to myself in Singapore in a matter of seconds. We again are looking at how that can be done. That is again using blockchain technology, but I think that's going to take longer because domestically you can have the domestic regulators mandate how it's going to happen. When it comes to cross-border, you have to have both regulators or both governments agreeing, and therefore the cross-border is a longer term goal. I think domestic is where you will actually see the application of blockchain for payments sooner.
Can you give a good example of how blockchain can add value for corporates and clients?
Expanding on why I think trade is a good place for blockchain to add value, what you need with a blockchain is, the concept is around a shared ledger where you have multiple parties having access to the same information. If I take a shipping example, you would need a shipping company to actually have access to information of what's going on the ships. You need the corporates to have information. You need banks to be able to support the movement of funds as that is traveled through. You have the customs agencies who want to actually know what's on the ship and ensuring that all the things are created. That's all paper-based today, but in a digital world, that can all be digitized. You would then need to have that in a secure place. Blockchain is a perfect technology where that could exist, and in HSBC we've been exploring that, and we've done a couple of proof of concepts, particularly in that use case, and that really is where we think value comes to the corporate because they have less costs, to the banks because we have more surety, and to the customers because they have clarity of information.
There's a lot of noise around cybersecurity and authentication, etc. How are you addressing these concerns of cybersecurity to minimise risk and data loss?
I think it's key for a large banking institution to make sure that we keep our corporates and our consumers safe and their information safe. And I think the concern, if you look at some of the regulations and some of the conversations, is how do we do that? And of course, we HSBC will comply to the regulations. What we want to do, though, is do more than that. And we're looking at ways as to how we can exchange information in a secure way that actually doesn't give enough information to the hackers to allow them to exploit that. A real example is allowing you not to share your bank information, your sort code, your account number when you're making a transaction. That would be one great way that we can actually do that. Another way that we're also investigating is, whilst that should minimise the risk, it will never eliminate the risk. So can we use machine learning, artificial intelligence to track the payments that are happening across our network? And when we see something that's out of the ordinary, how do we actually intercept that and stop that? In the world of real-time banking, where everything's instant, that's truly where we have to have the ability to instantly spot those and instantly stop those. That's something that we're investigating and hope to be able to bring to our corporate clients and our consumers in the longer term.
And how is a bank like HSBC collaborating with fintechs?
We get fintechs knocking at our door on a very regular basis. There are thousands, not tens of thousands of fintechs in the marketplace. I think we often find that fintechs come to us with a technology, but they don't actually understand the problem that they're trying to solve. So the first thing that HSBC works very hard on is, what are the true problems that we're trying to solve for our corporates and for our consumers? If you know that, you can have the fintech conversation and you can then actually understand what fintechs can actually help you. We generally find that the fintechs don't always do exactly what we need. So we'll talk to fintechs, we'll then explore with them our specific idea, and then they'll shape the solution to actually meet that need. Fintechs are really keen on that because it gives them a practical application. We're keen on that because it's solving a real pain point for our consumers or corporates. Following that conversation, we'll do a proof of concept, we'll actually develop it, we'll then engage our corporates or our consumers on the idea on getting us feedback, and then we'll create a pilot, and hopefully that will actually then lead to something that's really big for both the bank, the fintech, and ultimately our corporates and consumers. Best case, that's been done in 3 months. Worst case, that's still ongoing and can take a long time. But the clarity for us is solve a problem that our corporates or our consumers want.
That's great, Craig. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching.